What if I told you that one of the most successful office products of all time was born from failure? That something as simple as a sticky piece of paper, the Post-it note, was never supposed to exist? In fact, it was the result of a glue that didn't work. Really, it's true. A scientist tried to invent a super strong adhesive, and ended up with one that barely stuck at all. But instead of throwing it away, another man saw its hidden potential. And together, they turned it into a product you've definitely used, whether at work, at school, or on your fridge. This is the strange, sticky, and surprisingly inspiring story of how failure became one of the greatest successes in product history. Before we start, what's the weirdest thing you've ever used a Post-it note for? Let me know in the comments. Let's rewind the tape to the 1960s. Meet Dr. Spencer Silver, a chemist working at 3M in 1968. For those who may not know, 3M, short for Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing Company, is a global science and innovation company known for creating practical, everyday products from Scotch tape and N95 masks to Post-it notes. 3M has become a leader in turning unexpected ideas into real-world solutions, using chemistry, materials science, and engineering to improve lives around the globe. Silver's goal? To invent the next revolutionary adhesive. Specifically, a glue that would be strong, long-lasting, and perfect for aircraft construction. But after months of experimenting, something strange happened. He created a new formula, but it was weak. Really weak. It stuck, kind of. But it peeled off easily. It left no residue. And worse, it wasn't even waterproof or heat-resistant. By industrial standards, it was a total failure. But Silver noticed something odd. This glue did stick to surfaces, but only just enough. It could be reused multiple times. It didn't damage paper. And it held just long enough, then came right off. So he thought, maybe it wasn't a glue for airplanes, but maybe, just maybe, it had another use. He pitched it to his colleagues. And guess what? Nobody wanted it. For 5 years, Spencer Silver promoted his low-tech adhesive inside 3M. He started giving seminars, writing memos, hoping someone would see what he saw. Nothing. Until someone did. Enter Art Fry, a fellow 3M scientist. But more importantly, a church choir singer. Every Sunday, Art had the same problem. He'd mark pages in his hymn book with scraps of paper, and every week, they'd fall out. Nothing stayed in place. Bookmarks were useless. And he didn't want to damage the book. One day, while sitting in a seminar, yes, one of Silver's glue talks, he had a light bulb moment. What if I used Spencer's weak glue on a bookmark, so it would stay in place, but come off clean? He rushed to the lab. Grabbed some of Silver's adhesive. Applied it to bits of paper. It worked. Perfectly. That's when Fry thought, wait, maybe this isn't just a choir hack. Maybe this could be useful for everything. And thus, the seed of the Post-it note was planted. Fry and Silver teamed up to develop their idea. They took scraps of paper, added the adhesive along one edge, and began making prototypes. At first, it was purely experimental. They used them in meetings, left messages for colleagues, stuck reminders on their desks. And soon, people at 3M started asking for more. Hey, got any more of those sticky notes? Can I borrow one of those papers that don't fall off? The product didn't even have a name yet, but it was already spreading. Fry and Silver knew they had something special. But 3M's marketing department? Still skeptical. They didn't get it. Why would anyone buy little sticky pieces of paper? So they did what innovators do. they let the product speak for itself. In 1977, 3M launched the product, under a boring name, Press and Peel. They test-marketed it in 4 cities. And the result? Total flop. Nobody understood what it was for. Stores didn't know how to sell it. The packaging was confusing. It looked like, well, a pack of tiny blank papers. So Fry had another idea. What if they gave it away? The next year, they launched a test campaign in Boise, Idaho, and gave away free samples to office workers. Within weeks, demand exploded. People were begging for more. They'd found their audience, busy professionals who needed a fast, simple way to leave notes, mark documents, and keep track of tasks. And the name? They changed it to something catchier, Post-it notes. If you're enjoying this story of accidental success, hit that like button. It helps us keep bringing you curious, unexpected stories. And if you want more real-world stories of weird inventions and hidden history, subscribe now and join our community of curious minds. Now, back to the sticky story. By 1980, Post-it notes were officially launched across the US. They were an instant hit. Within a year, sales reached millions of dollars. 3M realized they hadn't just made a product, they'd created a new category. Soon, Post-it notes went global. Europe, Asia, everywhere. Different sizes, different colors. Eventually, Post-it flags, tabs, wall pads, even digital versions. And all from a glue that was too weak to work. Here's the thing. Post-it notes aren't just about office supplies. They're a symbol of innovation through failure, of thinking differently, of seeing value where others see trash. Spencer Silver tried to make something strong, and failed. Art Fry had a random choir problem, and turned it into a global solution. Together, they created one of the most iconic products in modern life. How many billion Post-it notes are sold each year? Answer: over 50 billion. That's more than 6 for every person on Earth. And to this day, Post-it notes remain virtually unchanged, simple, effective, and everywhere. So next time you stick a little yellow square on your wall, remember, it was never meant to work. It was a failed glue, saved by a choir singer, that became a billion-dollar idea. That's why you should never throw away a bad idea. Sometimes, it's just waiting for the right use. What's your favorite accidental invention? Let me know in the comments. I might feature it in a future episode. Smash that like button if you learned something new today. Subscribe for more true stories of strange inventions, forgotten places, and unbelievable moments in history. See you in the next video, and until then, stay curious.